Room 6 was never booked. Alex worked the night shift at an old, quiet hotel. Everything seemed normal until he noticed that room 6 was occupied. A guest was checking in. The problem? The system showed it had never been booked, and when he went to check, the door was wide open, with no one inside. Subscribe now, because some hotel rooms shouldn't exist. Alex had worked at the old Grandview Hotel for almost a year. Nights were usually quiet. Guests came and went. The lobby lights flickered, and the occasional creak of the floorboards reminded him that the building was older than he liked to think. It was close to 2 a.m. when he noticed something unusual on the monitor. Room 6. The door status showed occupied, but the booking system was empty. No reservation, no guest, nothing. Frowning, Alex grabbed his flashlight and headed down the hallway. The carpet muffled his footsteps, but each step felt heavier than the last. Room 6 was at the end, its door slightly ajar. "Hello?" he called softly. No answer. The room looked normal at first. Neatly made bed, empty luggage rack, curtains drawn. But then Alex noticed the writing on the mirror. "Don't leave." His flashlight flickered. The air inside felt colder than the rest of the hotel, and a low hum seemed to vibrate through the walls. Alex's heart pounded. He wasn't sure if he wanted to leave, or if leaving was even an option. Alex stepped cautiously into room 6, flashlight trembling in his hand. The smell hit him first, stale air mixed with something metallic, like blood. His stomach turned. The bed was perfectly made, the curtains still drawn. Nothing seemed wrong until he saw the chair. It wasn't pushed under the desk. It was in the center of the room, turned backward, as if someone had been sitting there, watching him. A soft sound came from the closet, just the faintest scrape. Alex froze. "Hello," he whispered again, his voice shaking. Nothing. Then the door to the closet creaked open slowly. A shadow slipped out, not a human shadow. It moved wrong, limbs bending at angles no human body should allow. Alex stumbled back, flashlight flickering. The shadow let out a whisper, a voice that sounded like every guest the hotel had ever had. "Welcome, you shouldn't be here." The door slammed shut behind him, plunging the room into darkness. Alex's breath caught in his throat. He knew instinctively that room 6 was never meant to be booked. Alex's hands shook as he tried to turn on his flashlight again. The beam flickered, and in the dim glow, he saw the mirror. The message was gone. In its place, another set of words had appeared, written in what looked like condensation but didn't move with the temperature. "You can't leave." A low humming filled the room, vibrating through the floor and walls. Alex's heartbeat thundered in his ears. He stumbled toward the door, only to find it locked. He tugged at the handle. Nothing. Not even a click. From the corner of the room, a whisper floated toward him. "You should have never come here." Alex spun around, flashlight swinging wildly. The shadow was gone, but he could feel it, crawling along the walls, pressing into his skin, whispering in voices he knew. Guests who had vanished from the hotel over the decades. Panic rose in his chest. He backed toward the bed, tripping over the carpet, and his flashlight landed on the closet. The door was wide open now, and inside, a face stared at him. Pale, eyes too large, smiling too wide. Alex froze. The shadow whispered again. "Room 6 was never booked, but now you are." Alex's mind raced. He had to get out. He had to warn someone. He pulled at the door, rattled the lock, pounded on it, but nothing budged. The hotel was silent, except for the low hum growing louder, surrounding him like a living thing. The shadow in the closet moved. Not like a human, not like a normal shadow. It slithered, stretching across the floor, crawling up the walls, twisting into shapes that made his stomach churn. "You can't leave," it hissed again, in a chorus of voices, whispers layered on top of whispers. Some sounded like the concierge who had disappeared 5 years ago, some like the guests who never checked out. Alex's flashlight flickered again, and in the brief flashes of light, he saw them, some figures crouched in the corners, pale and faceless, hands reaching toward him. They didn't move quickly, but their intent was clear. They wanted him trapped. He backed toward the window, praying it wasn't locked. It was. Every exit was sealed. His mind raced. He had to survive. He remembered the emergency stairs. If he could reach them, maybe he could escape the room. The shadow whispered again, "Welcome to room 6. You'll never leave." Alex swallowed hard, feeling the temperature drop, the air thicken. He realized then that the room itself was alive, feeding on fear, and room 6 had chosen him. Alex forced himself to take a deep breath. Panic was useless. He had to think. The shadow hadn't followed him fully across the room. It lingered near the closet, watching, waiting. He scanned the walls, searching for anything that might help. That's when he noticed the old service door, almost hidden behind a dusty curtain. The kind that led to the boiler room, usually locked, but the handle turned easily. Hope surged through him. Maybe this was his chance. He sprinted toward the door, flashlight shaking. The whispering escalated, voices overlapping, screaming, giggling, crying, all at once. He flung the door open and stumbled into the narrow corridor beyond. Pipes rattled and hissed, steam curling through the dim light. It smelled of rust and mildew. Then he heard it. Footsteps behind him. Slow, deliberate, not human. He didn't look back. He ran. The corridor twisted, stairwells appearing where none should exist. The hotel itself seemed to be shifting, alive, reshaping itself to keep him trapped. Every door he tried was either sealed or open to another endless hallway. Finally, at the far end, a faint light glimmered. An exit sign. Alex sprinted toward it, hope clawing at his chest. Then the whisper returned, closer than ever, chilling his blood. "You belong to room 6 now." Alex's legs burned as he bolted toward the glowing exit sign. The corridor stretched longer with every step, like a rubber band being pulled. The sign flickered, its letters warping. Exit. The last letter twisting into a crooked 6. He skidded to a stop, chest heaving. The air felt syrup thick now, pressing on his lungs. Behind him, the footsteps stopped. The silence was worse than the whispers. He turned his flashlight back. The hallway was empty. Then, hands. Pale, claw-like, sprouted from the walls themselves, pushing through the peeling wallpaper. They groped at the air, reaching for him. Alex stumbled backward. "This isn't real," he muttered. "This isn't—" A voice cut him off. It was calm, warm, like a receptionist at check-in. "Sir, you didn't book this room, but it booked you." The walls trembled. The exit sign blinked out completely, plunging him into darkness. Only the glow from his flashlight remained, and even that started dimming. Something brushed his ankle. A hand, a tongue. He didn't look down. He just ran, pounding the corridor, praying it would end. And then, suddenly, the corridor spat him out into the lobby. Bright lights, empty chairs, reception desk. He was back. Alex staggered forward, gasping. The night seemed still again. He almost believed he'd imagined it. until he saw the screen on the front desk monitor. Room 6. Status: checked in. Guest name: Alex R. Carter. Alex froze, staring at the monitor. His name glowed in bright red letters beside room 6. He backed away, heart pounding. He turned toward the lobby door, desperate to leave, but the front doors wouldn't budge. Not a single exit worked. Panic gripped him. The hotel that had once seemed empty now felt alive, watching, breathing. A soft sound echoed from the elevators. A low, metallic creak, then a whisper. "Welcome. Back." Alex spun toward the sound. The elevator doors slid open, revealing a dimly lit hallway that hadn't existed before. The carpet was the same, but the walls were wrong. Shadows moved independently, stretching unnaturally. From the shadows, figures emerged, pale, faceless, whispering in voices Alex knew. Guests who had disappeared over the years, all trapped inside room 6's curse. "You can't leave," they murmured in unison. Alex backed up, nearly tripping over the lobby desk. He had to survive. He had to escape, but deep down, he knew. Room 6 had marked him. It wasn't done. The whispers grew louder, forming words he could understand. "You're ours now. Forever." Alex's flashlight flickered. One moment the figures were distant, the next they were surrounding him. Their hands reached for him, pulling, dragging, whispering promises of eternity in the room that shouldn't exist. He screamed. Alex fought, clawing at the faceless hands. They were cold and soft like wet paper, yet impossibly strong. They dragged him across the lobby floor toward the elevator, the one that led to room 6. "No, let me go," he screamed, his voice echoing through the empty hotel. For a split second, his fingers hooked the edge of the reception desk. His flashlight fell, shattering. Darkness swallowed everything except the faint red glow of the elevator's 6. And then, silence. When the morning shift arrived, the Grandview Hotel was quiet again. The lobby was pristine, no sign of a struggle. Room 6's door stood ajar, bed perfectly made, mirror spotless. On the front desk monitor, under current guests, a new name blinked red. Alex R. Carter, room 6. The housekeeper swore she heard whispers when she walked past that room. But she'd learned long ago not to look inside. Some places hold on to the people who ignore their warnings, and some doors should never be opened. No matter how curious you are, subscribe now, because the next room that's never booked might be yours.